Hello everyone. We were discussing about different forms of business organizations. In that series of videos, today we are going to discuss about cooperative form of business organizations. Cooperative societies. Cooperative societies. Cooperative societies. It is a form of business organization where people voluntarily associate on the basis of equality for the promotion of economic interest of themselves, for the financial benefit of the members. So we can start with a definition given by one of the famous cooperator in India, who is called E.H. Calvert. E.H. Calvert. He defines a cooperative society as cooperative is an association wherein persons associate together as human beings on the basis of equality for the promotion of economic interest of themselves. Cooperative is an organization. Instead of association, you can write organization. So this is the definition given by E.H. Calvert. Given by E.H. Calvert. He is one of the famous cooperator. Cooperator means an expert in cooperative field. Here cooperative is the institution or association or the business formed in cooperative sector can be called as cooperative. So he defines a cooperative is an organization. It's an organization wherein persons associate. It's an organization. Cooperation is an organization. It's a form of business organization wherein persons associate. Here people comes together on as human beings. There is no other weightage. Okay, there is no other weightage. There is no other weightage on the basis of education, caste, creed, sex or any other thing. On the basis of equality, all are equal there. All are equal. No one is above others. So, on the basis of equality, for what purpose? For the promotion of economic interest of themselves. Suppose 10 people in a particular locality comes together for starting a business organization or starting a cooperative society. For what purpose? For their economic benefit. In order to uplift their economic status, they form a business organization. So that is called a cooperative society. Okay. So cooperative society is a form of organization wherein persons associate together as human beings on the basis of equality for the promotion of economic interest of themselves. Okay. This organization, cooperative society, can be registered. It can be registered according to Act. Okay, it must be registered. Registration of a cooperative society is compulsory. It should be registered according to Indian Cooperative Societies Act. Indian Cooperative Societies Act 1912. 1912. So a cooperative society must be registered. Registration of a cooperative society is a must. It must be registered in accordance with the Indian Cooperative Societies Act 1912. Okay, what is the difference between this cooperative society with the other business organization? That can be explained with the help of the features of cooperative societies. Okay, so let us see what are the features or special features of cooperative society. Features of cooperative society. The most important feature we can say that it's voluntary membership. This is voluntary membership. That means business organization, cooperative society can be started with some initiative among them, or voluntarily people comes together to start a cooperative society. A person will not be compelled or coercion cannot be applied. We cannot force anyone to become or not to become the member of a cooperative society. Okay, we cannot compel or coerce anyone to become or not to become the members of a cooperative society. So voluntary membership is one of the important features of cooperative society. Another one is legal status. We have told that cooperative society must be registered. Cooperative society must be registered. That means cooperative society has a legal status. Cooperative society has legal status. That means legal background is there. Cooperative society works in accordance with the Indian Cooperative Societies Act. So legal status is there. Okay. Then next one, regarding the liability of the members. The liability of the members are limited. So limited liability. Okay. If something happens to the business, or if the firm gets a huge amount of loss, in order to cover the loss, owners need not bring any money from their personal property. They will lose only the money contributed by them as the capital. Okay, so that is the benefit of legal status. Okay, that is the benefit of the registration. So in order to get limited liability, legal status is a must. That is why it is registered in accordance with the Indian Cooperative Societies Act 1912. Okay. Then next, another important problem we can say that control. See, cooperative societies, the control of a cooperative society is vested in the hands of board of directors. Board of directors. That means the entire control of the cooperative society is vested in the hands of the owners. And for controlling the day-to-day affairs of the management of business, or for controlling the management of a cooperative society, there will be a team, a group of people who are elected from the members. The elected representatives of the members of cooperative society, they are called the board of directors. They will undertake the day-to-day activities of the business. Okay. So business, that means cooperative society will be controlled by the members of cooperative society, and in order to manage the day-to-day activities of the business, a group of elected representatives will be there. That means the representatives of the shareholders of cooperative society, they are called as the board of directors. They will look after the business. Okay. Then next one we can say that service motive. Another important benefit or the feature of cooperative society is that it is service motive in nature. Cooperative society is a service motive enterprise. The main aim is to help the economic interest or help to increase the economic interest. So in order to get some economic benefit, it helps its members. So the word cooperative is derived from the word cooperation. Word cooperative is derived from the word cooperation. What do you mean by cooperation? Cooperation means self-help through mutual help. Self-help through mutual help. To help somebody to help ourselves. Understood? For example, a group consists of A, B, C, D, E and F. Suppose A helps C, C helps F, F helps D, D helps B, B helps E, E helps A. Understood? So it may not be like this pattern, but if we help others, we are helping others to get ours helped. Okay, that's why self-help through mutual help. So this concept of cooperation is very age-old concept. See, that people basically learn from what we can say that the atmosphere or the surroundings. See, you can see the honeybees collecting honey and keeping it next. See, they are collectively doing the work for their mutual benefit. Same way, ants are collecting their food for their mutual benefit. So like that, people, human being collectively doing the work for their mutual benefit. That is what is called cooperation. Self-help through mutual help. That is the basic principle of cooperative societies. Self-help through mutual help. So this business organization establishes for the purpose of providing help, mutual help. Okay. Then let us see, these are the features of a cooperative society. Now let us see what are the merits or advantages of cooperative society. Advantages of cooperative society. The advantages of cooperative societies. What are the advantages of cooperative societies or the merits of cooperative societies? First one, we can say that voting right. Voting right. We have told that they are these people who jointly contribute themselves or voluntary associate for the starting of business organization, this cooperative society, for helping themselves. They are considered as equal. So based on that equality is one of the main important feature of cooperative society. So how they will get equality? This based on the voting right. In order to take major decisions in the cooperative society, election takes place. Or in order to select the members, or in order to select the board of directors, we have told, board of directors, the elected representative of the shareholders or owners. At that time, everyone will have one vote. One head, one vote is the principle followed in election of a cooperative society. See, in order to become the member of a cooperative society, we have to purchase share. One share we have to contribute certain amount into the cooperative society for the capital of the cooperative society. That share or that contribution to capital of the cooperative society is called share of cooperative society. Okay, so like that share capital will be contributed from the members. So in order to become a member of a cooperative society, we have to purchase the share. We have to contribute share. And in the case of company form of business organization and all, our voting right will be based on how many shares we purchase in company. Like this, like in the case of cooperative society, in the same way, in companies also, we can buy the shares. Their voting right will be based on the number of shares you held. Suppose if you have purchased 1000 shares, you will have 1000 votes. But in the case of cooperative society, even if you purchase 1 share or 1000 shares or 10,000 shares, you will have only 1 vote. That is equality in voting right. One head, one vote. Okay. So in order to elect a particular person, the board of directors, you can exercise one vote. So voting right is an important this advantage here, and every person will have, every owner will have only one vote. Then next, related to liability, we have told that it is limited in nature. Limited liability. Liability of the members of a cooperative society is limited. So, how much may be the liability of a business organization, or how much may be the liability of a cooperative society? The owner need to contribute only. He will lose only the money he has already contributed for the capital. He may not get back the capital. Okay, so that money may lose. He need not bring any money from his personal property to meet the liability of the cooperative society, because it is registered as per the act. It has legal status. Okay. Then next we can say that stable existence. Stable existence. It has stable existence. It exists for a long time. So, or we can say that it has continuous existence. Stable existence is one of the most important merits of cooperative society. That means the death or incapability of any of the owner of a cooperative society will not affect the existence of the cooperative society. It exists for long because it has a registered status. Legal existence is there. So if one or two shareholders if die, the remaining shareholders will continue the cooperative society. Okay, remaining cooperators will continue the cooperative society. The next one is economy in operation. Economy in operation. Economy in operation. It is otherwise called economies of scale, like that. You may have heard about in economics, economies of scale. See, economy in operation says that, suppose different types of cooperative societies are there. Suppose a cooperative society called consumers cooperative society. What they do? They buy the goods in bulk from wholesaler or producers and sell that to the customers. What will be the benefit? If you purchase the goods from retailers, you have to pay more money for that. If you purchase the goods directly from the producers or wholesaler, you will get the goods in low rate, less price. So with that less price, they can share. Okay, that is called economies of scale or economies of operation. Since they purchase the goods in bulk and share among them, they will get the goods in low price. Okay, so like that, for all the activities of a cooperative society, it will be economically beneficial to the members. That is the main purpose for which these type of business organization or these type of societies are opened. You can see many cooperative societies nearby you. Many different types of cooperative societies are there that we will discuss after this. Okay. So all the main purpose of all these things, as we have told, it is for helping the members, helping the economic benefit. So get maximum benefit is the main aim of cooperative society. So economies of scale is one important merit of a cooperative society. Then let us see another one, support from government. Support from the government. Government support cooperative society. Sometimes government gives certain grants or assistance for the smooth functioning of cooperative society. So cooperative society gets help or support from government. The next one is ease of formation. It can be easily formed. A cooperative society can be formed easily. With how many members? 2. No. Any 10 person who has earned or attained 18 years of age from different families can start a cooperative society. Okay, any major 10 person who are attaining the age of 18 or more. So 10 persons from different families can start a cooperative society. Minimum it should be 10 people. 10 people from different families. Should not be from one family, from different family. Can start a cooperative society. Minimum. From a family, we can have many members of a cooperative society. But in order to start a new cooperative society, at least 10 people should be there, and those people should be from different families. Afterwards, they can start or they can include their own family members as the members. But for starting the cooperative society, we should have 10 people from different families. Okay. So in that way, easily we can start a cooperative society, and on starting the cooperative society, we have to register as per the Act. Okay. Then that is regarding the merits of cooperative society. That means voting right is there, limited liability is there, then stable existence or continuous existence is there, economy in operation, and support from corporate government, and the last one, it is easy to form. Okay. Then let us see what are the limitations. Limitations of cooperative society. The most important limitations of a cooperative society is limited resources. Limited resources. Limited resources. That is one of the most important limitation of a cooperative society. The resource of the cooperative society is limited. Why it is limited? We have told that many members may be there for a cooperative society. Maybe thousands of members may be there, but the resources will be limited. Why? That is because of this voting right, equal voting right. See, here we have told that if you purchase one share, suppose the value of a share is 10 rupees. If you purchase one share, you need to pay only 10 rupees. Okay, you will have only one vote. Then if you are ready to buy 1000 shares also, you will not get any preference. You are equal to the person who has purchased only one share. Because like that person, you can also exercise only one vote. Okay. So since there is equal status for all the people who are contributing money to the cooperative societies, they will purchase the minimum shares only. All will purchase the minimum shares only. So the resources, that means the capital of the cooperative society will be limited. Okay, that is one of the important limitations. Then another one is that inefficiency in management. Inefficiency in management. Inefficient management. Management may not be efficient. Why? Because the common people who are starting the cooperative society, they may not be professionally well qualified to manage the business. Okay. In most of the case, in reality, you can see that many of the cooperative societies will be ruled by the persons who are having some political background, or political party will be managing the cooperative society. So they may have a political experience, but may not have administrative experience or managerial experience. Managerial qualification may not be there. So inefficient management affects the existence of the cooperative society. It curbs or it stops the cooperative societies to perform well. Okay. Then next we can see that lack of secrecy. They cannot maintain any secrecy because we have told that this cooperative society must be registered as per the Act. And it should be what the financial statements of the cooperative society should be published in a widely circulated newspaper in that locality. So it will be known to the public. So no financial secret can be maintained in a cooperative society. Okay, so that is another important thing, lack of secrecy. Then next we can say that government control. Government control is there. So we have told that control of the government is one of the, that means support will be there from the government. That is considered as an advantage. But how it became a limitation here? Government controls means cooperative society cannot take any independent decisions regarding the major policies and all. So major decisions cannot be taken independently. For that, the support of government is needed. That means government will control regarding the important decisions of the cooperative society. That means what we can say that an agent of the government will be appointed in every cooperative societies. So through him, government controls the cooperative societies. So for taking major decisions, the cooperative society, management of cooperative society has to get permission from that person. Through that person, government permission need to get. Okay, so they cannot freely work for their betterment. Freedom of operation is limited. Okay, then next we can say that difference of opinion. Difference of opinion is another important problem faced by cooperative societies. We have told that there is an association of various people who are coming from different families, will have different political interest and political background. So, in many of the cases, the decisions taken by the cooperative societies create some issues, or the opinions raised from various persons may happen some issues or rivalry, okay, or some struggles or disputes may arise. So that is another important problem faced by cooperative society, difference of opinion. Since the decisions are not taken by single individual, there is chance of differences of opinion. That differences of opinion makes conflict among the people. Okay. Understood? We have told that many of the cooperative societies are ruled by political parties indirectly. The people of the political parties will rule. So they will have their own political agenda or political interest. Okay. So the person who are there as a member of that cooperative society who belongs to some other political party may not compromise with these opinions. So that creates some issues. Okay, so these are all the various limitations of cooperative society. Now we are going to see which are the different types of cooperative societies. Types of cooperative societies. Which are the different types of cooperative societies? So as we have told, we may have seen many forms of cooperative societies in our locality, in our surrounding. Different types of cooperative societies are there. So we are going to discuss all those cooperative societies here one by one. While discussing, you may remember that yes, this cooperative society is there. I have seen. So the most important one among them is Consumers Cooperative Society. Consumers Cooperative Society. What is this Consumers Cooperative Society? This is an organization, cooperative form of organization established by consumers in a particular locality. It can be the consumers in a particular locality or the employees of a certain business organization. For example, for police association, police cooperatives, police consumers cooperative societies there. For railway employees cooperative consumer stores are there. So what is the purpose of starting that? The purpose of starting such a business is that, as we have told, to reduce the interference of middlemen in buying the goods. So as they are consumers, they will purchase various products for their consumption. So if we go to purchase this product individually from a shop, you will be going normally to a retail shop, isn't it? And you have to pay based on the MRP. Sometimes it will be MRP or slight difference will be there. So you will pay that much amount. Instead of that, if you purchase in bulk from a wholesaler or even directly from the manufacturer, do we need to pay that much money? No. That means cost can be reduced. So that is what cooperative society does. It purchases products in bulk directly from producers or wholesalers. Suppose producers, normally the chain of distribution comes like this: producer, then from there wholesaler, then retailer, then customers or consumers. Okay. Suppose producer produce a good for rupees 60. Okay. That means wholesaler gives rupees 60 to whom? Producer. And he sells that goods for 75 rupees. 75 rupees to, or 75 or 80 rupees. Suppose can be considered as 80. So 80 rupees, for 80 rupees retailer purchase from wholesaler. And he sells us for 100 rupees. That means we are paying him how much? 100 rupees. So how much is our total loss? If we purchase directly from, if customer purchase directly from producer, how much we need to pay? We need to pay only rupees 60. 40 rupees is our loss. Understood? So that is what cooperative society does. What cooperative society does? From here, cooperative society purchase the product. Cooperative society. Suppose cooperative society purchase the product for rupees 60. And of course, cooperative society also will take some profit for its existence. And from here, customer will purchase, consumer will purchase by paying 65 rupees. 65 rupees. So what is the profit here? Cooperative society will get a profit of 5 rupees. 5 rupees is the profit. Okay. And customer will get how much? 35 rupees profit because of cooperative society. Earlier he used to give 100 rupees, now need to pay only 65. So 35 rupees is the profit. So that is the benefit of cooperative consumer store, consumers cooperative society. Okay. Then producers cooperative society. This is the second one. What is the purpose of producers cooperative society? Suppose in a particular locality, a particular products are produced by the group of people. Okay, so these products, what they will do? Suppose people in particular locality, they are producing woolen clothes. So what they will do? They will collect the material. If they go and collect the material individually, they need to pay more amount. Isn't it? Instead of that, what they will do? They collect all the raw material together by paying less amount. Isn't it? By paying less amount, they can collect the raw material. And from there, they share the raw material or any other things needed for the production. It can be raw material or some manure or some fertilizer or some tools, all the things. They will purchase together and share among them, and will get the profit. That means the cost can be reduced. So for that purpose, they organize cooperative society, that is called the producers cooperative society. That is mainly for the purpose of purchasing raw material, getting some expert advice, or getting some technical knowledge, or getting or purchasing from certain this other inputs like some instruments used for production or machinery, all those things. They purchase together and share among them. Okay, that is a cooperative society, that is called the producers cooperative society. Then let us see third one, marketing cooperative society. Marketing cooperative society is for selling the product or marketing the product. What is the benefit of this marketing cooperative society? Let us consider another example. Suppose certain farmers are there, they are producing silkworm or silkworm to make silk thread. Suppose they are producing silkworm individually and they are bringing individually in the market. Suppose 5 people are there. Let us consider 5 people. One person brings this silkworm to the market and says that I will sell it for 100 rupees per kg. 100 rupees per kg. Per kilogram, 100 rupees. Then another person, 5 people will be sitting. So at that time, in order to catch the customer, another person will tell that I need only 95 rupees per kg. So in order to compete with him, another person may say that yes, I am ready to buy, or I am ready to sell it for 50 rupees per kg, 80 rupees per kg. So like that, next person may say that 75, I am ready to sell it for 75 kg. 75 per kg, because he has to sell his product. Okay. Then another person, 5 people we told, another person may say that I am ready to sell it for 73 per kg. See, from 100 it reduced to 73. Okay. So around 27 rupees it got reduced. So what will happen here? He will be forced to reduce the price again. He may reduce to 72 per kg. Understood? Isn't it? Because he has to sell his product. Otherwise, if it is not sold, no use at all. So, in order to avoid all these things, what they will do? They will collect all the product together and sell it in a single lot. They collect they associate together. Together they will associate and collect all the product and brings to the market and say that we will sell it for rupees 150 per kg. 150 per kg. See, they will get 50 rupees more than the highest price. And these 50 rupees, what they will do? Whatever profit is there, that will be shared among them according to the quantity they supplied. Suppose first a person may have brought 1000 kg. Isn't it? Next person may have brought 800 kg. Another person may have got 500 kg. Like that. Next person, suppose again he has got 1000 kg. And here he has got 700 kg. Suppose like this, they have got a profit of 1 lakh rupees. 1 lakh profit they have got. How they will share? In the ratio of 10:8:5:7 or 10:7. This 1 lakh rupees they will share. So this profit they will share in this ratio. They have got benefited or not? Yes. So that is the benefit of marketing society. Then let us see another category. Farmers cooperative societies. Fourth one, farmers cooperative society. What is the specialty of farmers cooperative society? Here, these are the society or organization formed by the farmers of in a particular locality. For example, cotton growers cooperative society is there. Then paddy cultivators, paddy farmers cooperative society is there, like that. Or a variety of products will be there. So here, they will get the benefit of purchasing seeds, fertilizer, pesticides, then other inputs, okay, other instruments, all those things will be purchased. Either they will purchase and share, or they will purchase, suppose some machines like a tractor and all, they will purchase in the name of the society. And that will be supplied, or that will be given on rental basis to customers. Like that, fertilizers they will purchase and together and will supply. And sometimes if there is no land for cultivation, the society will take the land on rental basis from somebody and will distribute to farmers for their cultivation. So all those things will be done by farmers cooperative societies. Okay. The products produced by the farmers cooperative society may be given to marketing society for marketing. That also is possible. Okay. So this is another variety. Then let us see the another one. Fifth one, we can say that housing cooperative societies. Housing cooperative societies. This is a cooperative society owned and operated by people who are interested to construct and sell the houses. This cooperative society does like this. Sometimes they will purchase an area of land and there they will construct the house and sell that to the needy people, those who are not having houses. Otherwise, they will meet the people who are having the plot of land, but those who are having plot of land and interested to construct the house. Okay, for them they will construct the house and give one for particular cost. That will be the income for the cooperative housing societies. So either they purchase the land and construct the building and then sells, or those customers who are having the land can approach the housing society to get a house constructed. For that they will charge some service charges or construction cost. That will be the benefit of the cooperative housing societies. Then next one, we can tell about credit cooperative societies. Cooperative credit societies. Cooperative credit societies. Say, people are in need of money for various things. For starting a business organization, or starting or doing some business, or some agricultural purpose, or maintenance of house, or conducting marriage for the daughter or son, like that. Various purpose money is needed. Here it's just like a bank gives credit facility to the needy people or the members of the cooperative society. They will collect money or deposit money. They will collect a deposit of money from the public, and that will be given as loan, just like a banking business organization. So here the speciality is that interest rate will be comparatively lesser than the normal commercial bank interest. So that is cooperative credit societies. We have told regarding Indian Cooperative Societies Act of 1912. That was actually formed as an act for cooperative credit societies. So that is also called as Indian Cooperative Credit Societies Act of 1912. Okay. So these are all the various cooperative societies exist in India. Okay. So today we have told about cooperative societies, definition, concept, features, merits, demerits, and different types of cooperative societies. I hope all of you are understanding this. Okay. All of you, is it clear to all? Yes. Okay.